Content creation has been evolving for centuries. To be completely honest, if you really think about it, art and music have been around for centuries. So that's content creation at its basic form. But there are certain foundational pieces that will translate to all types of content throughout all these years of content creation. Welcome back to the Rebel Tech channel. I'm Justin, and in this video we're going to be talking about a thing called the content creation pyramid. Now, I might not be the first person to talk about this, and I certainly won't be the last, because I have a feeling that there are other people that will bring up this concept. But it's very similar to a food pyramid. So if you know from grammar school, if they even teach it nowadays, I don't even know. The food pyramid back in the day was basically foundational pieces of your dietary needs as human beings. It's changed over the years with different health things coming up, like teaching people how to be vegan, teaching people how to be, I don't know, vegetarian or whatever it is. Certain dietary needs, the pyramid changes. But for the most part, the pyramid is still there. There's a foundation, and then as you go up, there's things that are less needed, and they're not necessarily less important, but they are definitely less important than the previous tiers. Now, every structure needs a good foundation, and it is the most important thing when it comes to building something, because if you don't have a sturdy foundation, it's all going to topple over. So without any further ado, let's get into the foundation. So yeah, the foundation. On the floor here, we need a foundation for our structure of content. And the thing that really is most important is the story and the message itself of what you have going on in your video. Now, of course, there are other things that go into it. Video, lighting, audio, all the stuff. But we'll get into that stuff a little later. But the foundation, the story, the message, and what you have to say. It has to be important to people. It can't be just something that, oh, I'm just going to throw up a nice camera and nice microphone and I'll just start babbling into a camera. No, you need to have a story. You need to have something that people actually want to watch. I actually thought about this when I was watching one of the Alpha Gaming channel's videos recently, and their audio went bad. They were using the audio from the camera itself, and it's not high quality audio. You could hear it, and you understand what Harris was saying, but it wasn't up to the quality that they wanted. But I stuck around. I listened to the whole video. I kind of forgot about the bad audio because of the content, because of the story, because of the message. Things that people say in videos mean nothing if there's no substance behind it. There's no personal connection. There has to be something that you can relate to and something that you can aspire to, or anything, some personal connection that makes you want to stay engaged, regardless of some type of technical issue. There are plenty of things that came out that have lower budget quality in their tech, but the content of it definitely makes it not bearable, but makes you look past the technical flaws or maybe technical limitations. Look at Star Wars. Star Wars had garbage cans that they used as droids, and now we know the garbage can is the droid. We've emulated that in history. And it's just amazing how one little thing and one simple concept of a story could make people listen to what you have to say, regardless of the microphone you're speaking into. Speaking of audio, that's next. So next up, audio. And audio is second in my pyramid, in the second tier, mostly because I have a bias. I completely own up to it. Audio has been a big part of my life, and it has made me money. It has given me a somewhat of a career, not too crazy, but it's given me a bit of income to hold me over for a while, at least until I find a steady gig. If not, then I'll always have audio on the side. But regardless of my personal situation, with content creation in general, audio is probably like the thing that you think of first. You could think of things in your head audibly a lot more than you could think of them visually. I don't know what it is. I don't know what kind of psyche kind of thing or what kind of like neurons or electrical pulses that are going on in your head that make audio a little bit easier to process. But it's definitely something that you think of first. And of course, if you disagree with me, let me know down in the comments and we'll talk about it. Now, another thing with audio, let's just say you're watching a video. And let's say that the internet is not that good. Perfect example for today's world. And the audio is coming through really good because it takes less bandwidth for the audio to come through than a video. So if you're watching it at like 480, standard definition, not that great. But the audio is still coming in pretty good. Very nice. You could hear it and you can see it. You can see what's going on, but you can't see it that well. You're more likely to stick with that video than if you were to have the opposite, with a 4K video and horrible audio. And I think that that's the reason. That's probably the main reason why it's number 2 on my list and number 2 in this pyramid, because you're more likely to stick around for good audio rather than sticking around for good video with bad audio. So enough about audio. I could talk about audio all day, and I will talk about audio all day because I'm filming a bunch of videos. So on to the next thing, which I bumped. This was supposed to be third on the list, the audio, but this next one was supposed to be second, so I bumped it a bit because of my bias, I admit. So let's get to it. So next up on our list, the next tier is going to be execution of your story and your content. Now this means your preparation, your writing of a script. Like I was just saying, I was writing a script for this. I'm actually using it as an outline and a reference. I don't like to read from a script. I like to write up a script to get an idea of where my thoughts are going to go. Then I reread it before I record and elaborate and give you a more candid performance. I don't want to be more animatronic because when I read, I sound monotone and I suck at kind of putting inflections on stuff. So that could be a little bit boring. And if you watch some of my earlier videos, that's definitely a issue that I had. So then I changed things up and it was more candid. But the next thing here is just because you wrote a script and sometimes maybe even just write an outline, if you don't execute it on camera and if you don't show the confidence that you need to portray your message or your story, then it's all wasted. Because if you're like, this is a video about content creation and the pyramid. No, that's not gonna work. It's not gonna. If you're monotone, you have to be dynamic. You don't have to be dynamic. It makes it more interesting. And for me, I like to be a little bit more animated with how I talk and things like that. Now, it has to do with my upbringing. I'm Italian, German, and all stuff like that. That we use our hands a lot, and we use our hands to portray our emotions and what we're trying to explain to people. Now, I know other parts of my heritage, Irish and Swedish, maybe even other parts that I might not even know of. I didn't do the Ancestry.com thing. I think I will do it for my birthday, though. But that's another story. Maybe I'll do a video on that, on technology of finding out my heritage. I don't know. But regardless, the confidence is what makes you give your story that much extra, like, zing on it. That bringing people in with your story is great, but bringing people in with a infectious and charismatic character, because when you're on camera, this isn't necessarily who I am all the time. I'm very much so an introvert. But for my videos, I like to play it up and be the person I want to be, or be the person that I try to be. So that all being said, take life by the balls and be confident in your content creation and just do it. Please don't sue me, Nike. That would be just not so good. Just kind of, just what we need to figure out. If you have any other slogans that are kind of like just do it so we don't get sued, let me know down in the comments. I really want to hear some people's. You make it funny too, because that would be great. let's move on to the next one. Yeah. So the next thing on our list and the next tier on this pyramid, almost forgot what shape we were making, is the video section. Now this is the second to last as far as importance of things you need to focus on with your content. Now, of course, you should focus on all of these things, but as far as level of importance, in my opinion, this is second to last. Now, the reason why I say this is, let's start off with one simple thing. Comparing audio to video. People make a big deal out of video. People make a big deal out of, oh, I need 4K. I need a full frame camera. I need a mirrorless camera. And to be honest, I'm going to tell you something. That's a whole lot of BS. You don't need it. I've been making content for the last year with a crop sensor camera. Both crop I haven't even used a full frame camera on this channel once. And now recently with the 90D, I'm recording 4K. I don't need 4K. My 77D over there does 1080-60. That's plenty. And this camera here does 4K. I got it mostly because I wanted to have a little bit of 4K. And I wanted to have the 120 frames per second in 1080. Little things here and there. I've never bought a new camera before, so I wanted to get a new camera. But for the most part, we're talking general. You don't need all the fancy equipment. Crop sensors are great. DSLRs are great. More rugged. Definitely better on battery. I can tell you that. Some of these mirrorless cameras, especially the Sony ones, those small batteries, don't really last that long. So keep this in mind. Video is not everything, but video is important. So understand where you are with your budget, with everything like that. Work within your means. Use the best, Casey Neistat said this, use the best camera that you have at that moment. And if all you have is a crop sensor DSLR with 1080-60, keep using it until the wheels fall off, for lack of better terms. And now we are at the peak. And the peak might not be something that you're expecting. So we're at the peak. We're at the top of this pyramid. And what do you expect it to be? Let me know down in the comments before I say it. Pause the video. Let me know down in the comments what you think the peak of the pyramid is. Now, I gave you that second, and hopefully you paused it. You gave the answer down in the comments. And the last thing is the scene. I'm sure you weren't expecting that one. And the reason why I chose this angle, this scene, is because there are certain things, little Easter eggs. I like to throw in little Easter eggs and maybe throw a little ARG action in the future. Maybe after I'm monetized, I'll do a little fun ARG. And we'll have like kind of a scavenger hunt type of thing. Little Easter eggs here and there. I'll go back to other videos. But regardless, the scene. Alpha Gaming, Senpai Gaming, whatever they're going to call themselves in the future. Harris Heller has been a big inspiration for my content creation. I've been watching his stuff for over 2 years. I've been a fan of his for a very long time. These floodlights, the blue ones and whatever color they need to be, they are one of the first purchases I made because of Harris. Then, my gaming career or gaming life. Assassin's Creed, a big part of my gaming life. I have a bunch of consoles on my... that's a shelf. Yes, that's the word. I am bad with words. And behind me, the first addition to the studio when I first started making videos. It was in the first video. This Studio Rebel, kind of like Studio Ghibli, kind of, or Ghibli, is it? I think it's Ghibli style thing. I loved it. This came out literally months before I started this channel. So that's been here since the beginning of the channel. And things have come and gone. Things have changed. But for the most part, it's still this, I think I made it 8 by 11 or something. No, it's probably a little bit different. About 8 by 11 square, rectangle, not a square. It's a rectangle. Possibly a rhombus, my favorite shape, by the way. It's been my life for over a year now. And coming up on a year and a half, actually. I think it might be a year and a half. Let's see, April, May, June, July, August. Yeah, coming up on a year and a half of me making videos on this channel, and we are very close to getting monetized. And back to the scene. The thing that makes you, you. And the reason why I have it at the top is not because it's the least important. Quite honestly, these things, when you're making content, where you make it is not necessarily important. Now, sure, you don't want it dirty, cluttered, whatever it is, bunch of clothes on your bed. You want to have something fairly neat. But if you're gonna have stuff around and have stuff in the room, have them mean something. Some of it has been inspired by the content that I've made, the comments, and things like that. But for the most part, it's because it's me. It's what makes me me. And it's for me. And this scene is for you. Of course, everyone sees the scene, but it's for you to decorate because people are there for the content. And it comes back to the foundation. If it's built off of that content and that story, that message, you will have a lot of success. And then, obviously, move up the pyramid and use those things to your advantage. I didn't think I was going to get emotional in that last piece. It actually changed. The script was a lot different than what I just went through. All right. So that all being said, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please hit the like button down below. It would be greatly appreciated. Helps this video, helps this channel, and really gets out to more people so I can try my best to spread my message, my story to other people. And other people who have inspired me, like Harris and Mike Delgadio from Boot Junkies, Curtis Judd, Peter McKinnon, all these people that will never watch this video, but they have inspired me. They have inspired me to do a lot of things. My B-roll and stuff like that have been inspired by Peter McKinnon. My tech and gear have been inspired by Harris, and so much more. So thank you all for sticking around and getting to this point in the video. I really do appreciate it. I can't thank you guys enough for all the subs and all the views and all stuff like that. This is much more than I actually expected. And speaking of that, if you are liking my vibe around here, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell to know when things are coming out in the future, and also live streams on the weekends and live streams possibly during the week. If I have time during the week, I just pop on, and not scheduled, but I really want to do the weekend and one time during the week. That'd be nice. And I do dot-to-dot art. I play video games, just really hang out, chill, answer questions if you guys have any, all that kind of stuff. And that is all I got for you today. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. The only thing that I want to do is I want to pet that lemur. And no, that's not a euphemism.
It's best.